I've been thinking for quite some time to make this video. It's gonna be titled Drinking Tea While Telling a Story, but the story is a complete lie. So it's just me drinking tea, it's just me drinking, like having chai, and then I'm telling a story. But the story is a complete lie. It's pretty self explanatory, it's no big deal. The only reason I haven't really started doing it is because I'll be frank with you. I find it really hard to lie. Like it doesn't come, it doesn't come naturally to me. So I have tried, but it just doesn't like come out like really easy. Like it doesn't flow out. So it just sounds fake. Like it just sounds stupid. Like it's not even fun to hear. So that's why I haven't really been. But then I thought, why don't I just having chai and telling a story? But the story is not a complete lie, it's just the truth. How about that? Like, what is stopping me from making those videos? So I decided I will be making one of those videos today. I'm gonna have chai and I'm gonna tell a story. And it's the truth. Like, it's something that actually happened. So yeah, let's get our chai and let's get into story time. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Truth. Something that actually happened. My favorite tea, like the best tea I've ever had is when the tea is made by me. And I'm not even flexing, but like I make amazing tea. This is how I want to have tea every single time. But unfortunately, not possible because, due to numerous constraints, in this day and age. But yeah, if I had it my way, I would only drink this tea like all the time. I'm gonna walk you through my tea making process today. This is step number 1, gang. Get the milk. Wanna know what's step 2? Right here. Oh yeah. The exact technique. See this? Boom. See that? Step 3. Ah! I shouldn't have done it with one hand, probably. See that? 5/6 of a cup. That's what we're going for, okay? See that? That's 5/6. That's about 5/6. That's the perfect count for the perfect tea. Now we pour this. That's right. I'll edit the part where I spill the milk because it just looks kind of unprofessional, It was because I was trying to do it with one hand. Otherwise, that never happens. Has never happened in my career as a tea maker. As a chai wala, but see? No proof. Anyways, step number 4. Light that shit up. Oh. That's right. Step number 5, gang, is to get your, you know what that is? Get your ginger, because this is what makes all the difference. And I'm gonna show you exactly how I make this ginger ready for my tea. Watch. You see that technique? Outside, like away from you, okay? Never inside. Okay, I don't really know why it's never inside, but there's a thing, there's something, but it's always outside. Like you have to go like this. See that? You seen that? Do not try this at home if you haven't already, because these stunts are dangerous. I am not asking any of you guys to go do this immediately, because there are levels to this shit, right? Yeah, just take your time with it. Playing with a knife is too dangerous for you. Just like use a peeler, like that's also okay, but no shame in that. No shame in using a peeler. This is just how I like to do it. Also, looks cooler. The trick is to only put this into the milk after the milk boils, because if you put it in before the milk boils, it will curdle the milk and all downhill from there. Why does it curdle the milk, you ask? I'll tell you. I forgot the acid name, but like there's some acid in ginger, right? So this bitch comes out. That like reacts with the milk and like leads to the milk being curdled. But when the milk is boiled at 100 degrees Celsius, the heat breaks down the acid from the ginger and fucks it up basically, like fucks the acid up into like non-existence. So it's fine. It's fine to put it in after the milk is boiling. I don't know why it's like taking so long. Performance anxiety probably because it has a camera pointed at it. It's okay, babe. It's okay. Take your time. What do you guys call this? I forgot what this is called. Peeler? No, it's not the peeler. Yeah, the thing. Anyways, we get the thing. We wait like this. Milk starts to boil. We just go like. Got our sugar over here. I like my tea to be not that sweet, so I'm just gonna go with 1.5 spoons of sugar. It's not a lot. It's just enough. If you're into no sugar, like just don't put sugar. But this guy is a must. It's no tea without ginger. I usually put way more ginger in than this, so I'm just debating if this is enough. As you can see, we're getting there. Oh. Everything is under control. I was saying, this is exactly where we go in ruthlessly with the ginger. Usually take a piece much bigger than this, almost like double the size of this. But this is all the ginger that was left in this house. Grating! Grating. That's the word. This is called a grater. Yeah. Oh my god. I don't know why, but I keep feeling like it's not enough ginger. Yeah. It's definitely not enough ginger. Let me get a whiff. Let me get a whiff of that. It was too hot. That was too hot. Okay, so step number, I forgot the step number, but the next step, tea powder. I like my tea super strong, like really strong. So I'm gonna go with 1.5 spoon of tea powder. You guys can put whatever the fuck you wanna put. How much ever you want to put. I'm not going to tell you how many spoons of tea powder you can put in your tea. Get creative with it. Because at the end of the day, it's your tea. No one can tell you how you can make your tea, except for yourself. And we are almost done. And by almost, I mean we are done. That's it. That's our tea right here. The best tea in town. I don't know why I'm forgetting English at this time, bro. Like, I cannot remember a single word for any of these processes. Like, on to our last step, and which is pouring our tea into my cup. Oh yeah. I don't even have to drink it. I know this is gonna fucking hit. Oh yeah. So for today's story, I am gonna be telling you guys the story about how I got this scar right here. See the scar on my eyebrow? Yeah. I'm gonna tell you how I got that scar. It looks like it's been intentionally put there, you know how these people put slits on their eyebrows. But that's not true. This is all natural. I got this in an accident. And yeah, I got a couple stitches over here, so I know it looks good, but not intentional. So yeah, I'll tell you guys a story about how I got this scar right here. So I'm gonna sit down, be comfortable, so I can really get into the story mode. This happened when I was like 5 years old, right? Just a child, just a small innocent child. I'm still an innocent child, but more innocent. And I've always been an athlete. I've always been into sports, I've always been into football. So I was 5 years old, and we used to play football in this mosque near my house. It has like a little playground area situation where kids used to play football and whatnot. I reached the mosque, to play football with my friends, as I usually do every single day. And it's around like 4 p.m., right? And I'm the first one there. And so I'm always the first one everywhere because I have this thing with timing. Like, I cannot be late. I hate people who are late. I've always been strict with timing. So, and especially because it's football, right? I'm the first one there. And immediately when I reach, something like really strikes me. because no one's there, no one's around. I don't know what the deal was with that. Like it's got like a really eerie vibe going on. Like I could sense it. Literally no one around, no adults inside, no children, no one. Like streets were empty, mosque is empty, and the mosque is rarely empty, right? There's always people around in the mosque. So I'm just there at the mosque at the ground. I have my football with me, I bring my football. I'm just like playing around with the football, waiting for my friends to come. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes pass by, and like I can't see my friends. And that doesn't usually happen, right? Like they usually come like on time. Maybe they're like 10 minutes late, but that's about it. And not a single one of my friends have come. So I decided to go to the nearest friend's place, which is like right, next to the mosque. It's like half a kilometer away. I decided to walk, to his place and like see what's up, like why he hasn't shown up yet, because they usually come on time, right? So I'm walking. As I'm walking to my friend's house, I notice a bike, right? It's a bike, and there's like two guys on the bike, and they're kind of following me, and like so I'm walking, right? So these guys are like almost like 200 meters behind me, and they're like driving the bike like really slow, it's very obvious they're following me, and I'm a kid, right? So a lot of things are going through my head, like what's up, like are they here to kidnap me, like what's going on? I'm kind of scared at this point, right? I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared. And so I keep on walking, and these guys keep on coming closer and closer. They reach like right next to me, and they stop the bike, and they're like, where are you going? And I was like, who are you? And instead of answering my question, one of the guys immediately jump out of the bike and like grabs my hand. At this point, it's like fight or flight for me, right? Because I'm a kid, obviously. This is a pretty anxiety-inducing event for a kid to go through, right? And obviously what I chose was fight, because I've always had that dog in me, right? So I pull my hand back and I push this guy who like just jumped out of the bike. I push him, and then I run the opposite way, right? Because the bike is pointed that way, I run the other way. Because if I had ran the same way the bike was in, it'll be easier for them to like jump on back to the bike and like chase me down, right? So I run the opposite way. And then this guy who like jumped out of the bike started to chase me on foot. And I see the other guy like start the bike and like, turn it around so he can chase me on the bike. And I am running at full speed at this point. And take into account, like remember that I am an athlete. I have been playing football for like all 5 years of my existence. And I'm a super fast kid, right? Like ain't no way this guy who's like running on foot is gonna catch me. So my only real concern is the bike guy who's coming on the bike, right? So I am running full speed with my football in one hand. Like I have the football like this in my hand, and I'm running like full speed. And I leave the guy who's like trying to chase me barefoot in the dust. Like he is like long gone. Like he's not gonna catch up with me. Like there's no way. But I hear the bike guy like coming, getting closer and closer. Like I hear it. I'm not looking back because I'm focused on my running, but I hear him. Like I hear him, getting closer and closer. And then, so it's like a tiny road, right? Like it's a small street and really tall walls on both sides. There's no way I was gonna jump over that wall because I was a tiny kid, right? I was fast, but tiny. So I'm running, and I hear the bike come closer and closer. And then I do a shimmy, right? I do a Messi style shoulder drop situation. I just like fake it once to my left, and then I cut right immediately, and then like that really like gets him. Like this is happening like when he like got like really close, right? Like I could hear him like like 1-2 meter behind me, and then I do this maneuver, and then I like cut right, and then that makes him like go off course, and then he just like passes by me, and then I turn around and I see the other guy who was chasing me by foot. He's like some 150 meters behind me at this point. So he's standing right there. So I look back to see the bike guy like again turning the bike to face me because he's gone a little forward because I like got his ass with that move. And then the other guy on the other side of the road, he's like standing blocking my exit. So at this point I'm stuck between the guy in the bike and the guy who's like on foot. And keep in mind, I still don't know what they want from me. I'm thinking like, what are my options right now? Like I can scream, ask for help, get help, scream for help. But like I said, there's no one around. Like I do not see any people around. I don't know what was up with that day. There was no one around. There was no one outside. And it's like 4 p.m. So people should be outside, right? But I couldn't see anyone around. Like I'm standing in the middle. One side I have the bike guy on the bike, and the other side I have the guy on foot. And both of these guys look really menacing, right? At this point is when I take out my knife. Why is a 5-year-old child carrying a knife, you ask? This is why. I just always used to carry a knife around with me. And I'm talking about like a big knife, like a machete. Like not a knife, like, like this big. I just pull it out of my, football shorts because that's where I keep it. I pull this knife out and then I start like swinging it around, I'm trying to make them intimidated, right? I'm trying to tell them I am the wrong guy to mess with, right? So I'm doing that, and guess what? Both of these guys pull their own knives out of their pockets or like wherever they put their fucking knife. So now it's like a 3 knife involving knife fight at this point, okay? And remember, I'm a 5-year-old child. I've never really had any prior knife fight experiences. So I think about my options, right? I can either like run towards the guy on foot, take him on with my knife, or like run towards the guy on the bike and take him on. And like the guy on the bike is like sitting on the bike and he has his knife out and like one hand on the handle. The other guy is like, he has like his knife out. In fact, actually, my bad, I forgot. The guy on foot had 2 knives. Okay, so he's standing like this with 2 knives in his hands. So he's like this. The other guy is like this, one hand on the hand. So I think about my options and I realize I have a better chance of taking the guy on the bike because he is not mobile because he's on the bike, right? He can't really move, because he's on the bike, and one hand he has to give for the handle because otherwise the bike will fall down. The other guy, he has 2 knives first of all, and he's also mobile, he's on foot. So I decide my best chance of survival was to take on the guy in the bike. This is all happening in like split second, by the way. I do not have like, minutes to think about it. This is all happening in like a second or 2 in my head. At this point, I'm turning facing the guy on foot, right? And he's like 100 meters away. So I turn around, I start charging towards the guy on the bike. And I feel like these guys didn't really expect it. These guys, first of all, they didn't expect me to have a machete. So that only threw them off, like 100%. But again, they probably underestimated me because I'm a small child, So yeah, I start charging towards the guy on the bike with my machete, like waving it like wildly, like letting them know I mean business. And so the guy on the bike like kind of freeze because he didn't really expect me to charge at him. So he's still on the bike. When he saw me charge at him, starts to put his bike on the stand and like he tries to get out of the bike because like I said, he's not mobile when he's sitting on the bike, right? And I'm charging full speed, and keep in mind, I am super fast. I was a super fast kid. So I'm charging at him and he's like, suddenly like trying to put the bike on stand and like get out of the bike. I reach this guy, he gets out, and then he like swings his fucking knife like this, right? Like this. On my like neck level. I think he was going for like the kill shot. Although I had the machete, like the only thing I really want to do with it was like scare these guys very. I didn't want to kill them or like, I didn't want any blood on my hands. I just wanted to intimidate these guys. But these guys, the guy like went for this swing. And I think he was really going for my neck. So I anticipated this attack, right? Because I see him turn like this. So automatically it was gonna be a swing like this, right? So I'm running full speed at this point at him, waving my machete around. And then I get near him and then he goes for this swing. And then I do like a this. That kind of maneuver where I was trying to like dodge the attack. So I wanted to go like this. So I tried to do that, but I was going too fast and I didn't really take into account how hard it was for me to be running at my top speed and same time, doing this maneuver. I didn't really take into account how difficult it was going to be. I didn't duck low enough, but I ducked just enough for him to not get my neck, which I'm sure what he was going for. So I do this, right, and then the knife is coming like this, and then it just like barely nicks me like here, like I get cut. It just nicks my eyebrow. Like any less of duck, like if I had ducked any less, it would have got my eye, or like cut across my whole face or something like that. Excuse me, I'm getting a call. It's my sister. She's calling to see why I haven't shown up to the reading room yet, because she called me like 1 hour ago when I woke up, and I was like, I'm gonna take 5 minutes. Hello. ഇപ്പത്തു കുളിച്ചു കയറി ഇതായിരുന്നു. ഇല്ല 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 ഞാൻ ചായയൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാക്കി കുടിച്ച് കഴിച്ചു. Okay. So I duck while running at full speed. The whole thing went wrong because I didn't take into account my speed. I was too fast. See, the reason I got out of this situation with my life, and the reason I got this nick on my eyebrow, both of this can only be really attributed to how fast I was. If I was a little slower, I would have come out of this like completely unscathed. Unfortunately, I was a fast kid. Yeah, anyways, so I duck and then he nicks me like this, and I feel it, right? I feel it getting nicked. So I did duck under him, and then the knife goes by me, except for just this little neck. And then I like get under him, and then I get opposite to the bike. At this point I have like blood coming all over my face, right? Like this whole side and like my whole shirt, everything is like covered in blood, because blood is just like gushing out of my wound. At this point I like lose it, right? I'm like, this shit, right? Because how dare they? Because I would have never done that. Like I said, all I wanted to do with the machete was intimidate them. I would have never used it actually like these guys try to use. Like I said, this guy was going for my neck, right? So this like really gets me pissed. I take my machete and I like swing it with like all my force, right? And I just like go for this, but like still not on him, by the way, because I'm not that kind of person. Like I would never hurt a human being. So I like go for this, but like with all my strength, right, to his bike, right in the middle of his seat. I don't know how it happened, but maybe like I've heard stories about people showing extraordinary feats of strength under under stress or under pressure, because of like all the adrenaline, when like a mother pushes a car up to get her baby from underneath it. High adrenaline situations. I think it was that, because I can't really think of anything else. Swing it. When I try to hit the bike with my machete, the bike just splits open. It gets cut like I'm cutting a piece of cake, right? I'll be honest, it surprised me too. Like I was surprised. I was like, whoa. The guys were surprised too, because like, what the f-, right? And the bike is now in like 2 parts, right? And then it slowly falls down, like one part to this side and the other part to that side. Cut it, and then it stays still for a second, and then slowly boom. And then it's just silence, and I'm standing there with my machete. I'm like panting like that. Like I have this crazy look in my eyes, right? Because I'm really mad at this point, right? Because I'm all bloody, like my face is bloody, my shirt is bloody. I also just did this crazy thing, where the bike kind of like fell apart. See it in their eyes that these guys are scared at this point. And then I let out a scream, right? I just go like, with my machete in my hand, like all bloody, These guys get like really scared. Like I can see it. I can see it in their eyes, first of all. Also with the body language, they're scared. Start like stepping back, like one step at a time, slowly. I also start to step back because I don't want to escalate it any further, right? Because I literally cut his bike in 2, and he gave me a nick on my eyebrow. So I think it's fair, like fair fight. I think we can call it even type shit. So these guys start to step back, and I start to step back. I still have my football with me at this point, right? Like I'm holding my football like this, and then I have my machete in my hand. And then I was like, are you all done? They're not saying anything. They just keep on like stepping back, like step by step. They're like like that. One guy is like this with one knife in his hand. The other guy is like, he has both his knives up and he's like stepping back. I keep looking at them, and they keep looking at me, and there is this unspoken understanding that it was a fair fight. It's not gonna get any better than this. That day the fight was over. Like we didn't say anything after that. Like there was no words being said. After that point, it got like really calm, like an understanding between the 3 of us that was not gonna end well for any of us. We just like slowly start backing away, and once I was at least like 100 meters away from them, I turn around and I start running again with my machete and my football under my arm. I run to the mosque, and when I get to the mosque, guess what? A lot of people around, like a lot of people, and I'm just like running in with my machete and my football, and like all bloody, and like all these adults, they're seeing a little kid run inside with like blood on his face, and they're all like tripping, they're all going crazy, and then like one of those guys like take me to hospital, and I have to tell them this whole story of what happened, and they're like, should we call the police? And I'm like, nah, it's okay, like let it be. It was an interesting day, to say the least. So that is the story of how I got this scar right here. I haven't seen those guys ever since, by the way. I've never seen those guys, and to this day I don't know what they wanted. Like, why did they do that? Like, because I was a kid, right? I had no money with me. Like, all I had was my football and my machete. So I don't know what they really wanted, and I don't know, like the kidnapping scene wasn't really big in my locality at that time. So I've never heard any stories of people getting kidnapped, kids getting kidnapped or anything like that. This incident makes me wonder to this day. I'm sure it makes them wonder too, because they might have a lot of questions about this, right? Probably not how they thought it would go. Definitely a learning experience. I'm so glad I had my machete with me at that time, because I don't know how things would have gone. Like, things would have definitely gone differently if I didn't have my machete with me. So yeah, so that is how I got this scar right here. That's how I got it. And yeah, I don't usually tell this story to too many people, because it kind of reminds me of a past that I'm kind of trying to forget, because I'm not that person anymore, right? I don't carry my machete around with me. I don't have any weapons on me. Like, that's not who I am right now. So it really brings up a lot of memories that I'm sometimes trying to forget. The tea is also over, so I think it's time that I stop with my story sesh. All right, I'll talk to you guys next time I have tea, and I'll tell you guys another story. Let me know what you guys think. If I should just, tell these real stories that happened to me, or I should just bring back the having chai while telling a story, but the story is a complete lie. Like, which one is better? Because for me personally, I'm not saying I can't do it. I can do it. I can lie, but this is more natural to me. Like, when I'm telling a story that actually happened, it's just easier. It's just easier for me to say it, because it comes naturally, because it's in my memory. Like, I don't have to think about it. It's just easier for me to say it. But one downside about this is that I might get emotional. Like, sometimes, talking about shit that I've been actively trying to forget might get me like kind of emotional. But that's okay. I'm not afraid to cry. That's okay. That's completely fine. But yeah, let me know, you guys, what you guys think would be better for this, or I can just make up stories, right? So yeah, let me know what you think. All right, bye gang.